So this one also, just like the last one, it's eating the absolute value. And so when we split this up, it should end up being an OR statement again. So this one, the inside of the absolute value, right? We got x plus 6 divided by 2. And I'm just going to compare this with just positive 3. But if I compare it with a positive, it's just going to be the regular inequality, the greater than or equal to symbol. Again, I know that it's eating the absolute value, so I'm going to put my OR statement there right now. And then the other part of it is where we take the inside of the inequality, x plus 6 over 2, and we compare with the opposite of, in this case, 3, which is negative 3, but by doing so, we need to flip that inequality. So for this one, we are expecting the two lines to go away from each other, like the last one that we just barely did, and we're expecting an OR statement, a union statement on this one. Is it going to be? I don't know. Let's find out, though. So on this one, well, for both of them, actually, I'd multiply both sides by 2. That's going to make that a phantom 1. That leaves us with just the numerator. X plus 6 now is greater than or equal to 3 times 2, which is 6. And one last principle of equality to zero out this 6. Drop my x, which is greater than or equal to 0. Now, some students say, well, it's greater than or equal to 0, so there is no solutions. No, 0 is part of the solution right there. We're saying x, it could be equal to 0, but it could also be greater than 0. So that's our first inequality. Let's look at the next one. The process, you'll notice, just like we saw before, ends up being the same on both sides, right? So that's when it's going to make that phantom 1 right there. And now I've got x plus 6 is less than or equal to negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Now, I should point this out. See on these two here, how we multiplied both sides by 2? If that by chance were a negative, I would have had to have flipped the signs. It wasn't, so we didn't have to worry about that, but understand that you may see that. Now, I'll get rid of that plus 6 by subtracting 6 from both sides, which it does. And x now is less than or equal to negative 12. Okay, so that's my inequality. Let's see what the graph looks like then, which for me helps me with the interval. So this would be 0. This one would be negative 12. I think I got the sign right on the 0. So I'll start with the red. I start with the red one, and x is greater than or equal to 0. So it could equal 0, right? So I'm going to fill this circle in, and that one's eating the x, so it goes to the right. With the negative 12, this one it could equal negative 12 according to the inequality. So I'm going to fill that circle in, and it's not eating the x, so it goes to the left. So these ones are going away from each other as well. The purple is showing that it would go from negative infinity all the way to negative 12 and stop there, but the negative 12 is included, so we got a square bracket. And then we'll unite this starting at 0, which is included, and that line goes all the way to infinity. So that there at the bottom is our interval.